Hello, my name is Philip Edu. I'm the methodology expert. And I'm going to talk about paradigm. And so before even I define paradigm, just think about this. You have some kind of belief. You have some kind of practices. You have some ideas, right? Indirectly, you have a paradigm that you associate yourself with, right? So in this kind of paradigm, other people also share those kind of belief system with you, right? So this means that you are not alone in um, that paradigm, right? You are in there with a group of people, and within that paradigm, there are two kinds of groups that are there. We have gatekeepers, and we have skeptics. Gatekeepers are those who their role is to just learn more about a paradigm they are in and protect that paradigm. They preserve and protect that paradigm, right? Their role is to respond to any criticism that comes, right? Because if they don't respond, that what will happen is that people might not find their paradigm useful and they will move into another paradigm, right? They they can move and form their own paradigm, or move into to associate themselves to a different kind of paradigm. So within a paradigm we have gatekeepers and also we have skeptics. Skeptics, they see themselves as part of the paradigm, but they are most of the time they question the beliefs and practices of that paradigm, right? They keep on questioning, right? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? How can this explain that? Why does this belief apply to this situation? They keep on questioning the existing paradigm. And the gatekeeper's role is to respond to those questions. If they don't feel satisfied, what do? They maybe stay in, adjust, accept that there are flaws in their paradigm, or they decide to move to another paradigm or create their own, right? Um, and for every paradigm, we also have the gatekeepers and skeptics are the insiders, right? And then the outsiders are the critics, those people who question, identify the flaws and highlight the flaws and, you know, um, present all the flaws to the gatekeeper so that they can respond, right? So, um, and then we have explorers. Explorers, they don't critique, they just explore existing paradigms and see the beliefs and practices that works, the best practices, and they take them and apply it into their own things, right? So if they see that this tool, right, is good and they can help them to solve their own problem, they adopt the tools, right? So it's just like doing research. They see that based on the study that they want to focus on, qualitative approach is good. Maybe phenomenological approach is good. They just take the approach, use it. But when they are using it, also they acknowledge the assumptions associated with that tool, right? So these are the four types of roles people play in and out of the paradigm, right? We have the gatekeepers, the skeptics who are inside the paradigm, and the critics. Sometimes the critics, if they are satisfied with the response, they might join the paradigm, right? Explorers, they have no intention to join the paradigm, right? So let's move into academic issue, right? Our research issue. So in research society, we have, the popular paradigms, right? We have the positivism, we have post-positivism, interpretive paradigm, social constructivism, and also constructivism paradigm, and we have also critical theory and feminism. You, as a researcher, you may see yourself more close to a specific paradigm, right? And sometimes what you have to also ask yourself is, okay, so if you are close to a specific paradigm, you have to know the beliefs and practices and concepts and ideas and theories that they use, right? And also sometimes you have to ask yourself, are you a gatekeeper? Are you defending the theories and practices, or are you a skeptic, trying to question things that are happening? There's no I think, it's not negative to be a skeptic, because you are even helping the gatekeepers to prepare themselves from outside attack, because you are asking them questions for them to respond, so that maybe the outsider can bring similar questions, and then they have to respond, right? Are you affiliated to any of the paradigm? You don't have to, right? But if you are not affiliated to the paradigm, how do you see yourself? Are you a skeptic or explorer? If you are affiliated to a specific paradigm, are you a gatekeeper or a skeptic, right? Doing some kind of self-reflections help a lot. So let's say you are doing a qualitative study. It doesn't matter what paradigm that you are affiliated with. The most important thing is that your decision and actions are consistent with the philosophical assumptions associated with the tools that you are using, right? So you may be you may see yourself as a positivist, right? But you still can do a qualitative study. You just have to make sure that you are not evaluating qualitative procedures from the perspective of positivism. So you have to make sure that when you are using the tool in a study or a method, see what paradigm that method came from, right? And just make sure that your decision and actions are consistent with the assumptions associated with a specific approach. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're choosing, let's say granite theory, right? So granite theory is a qualitative approach. So this means that they are philosophical assumptions associated with qualitative approach, right? The fact that participants' background, perceptions, past experience influence the information that are presented to you, right? So if you want to better understand participants' stories or information, you have to always know the background, the situation they find themselves in, right? The same way as you analyzing the data, as a researcher, there's a connection between you and the knowledge that you want to produce, right? You also influence that information. So the way you ask your questions, the way you go through your data, the themes that we come up with, they are all kinds. They all those information influ all your background influence how you come up with themes, right? So as a researcher, you always have to make sure that you are aware of your background, you are aware of a preconceived ideas, you are aware about your biases, and then you cannot totally put them aside, but being able to acknowledge and make sure that they are not unduly influencing the information that you want to make sense with, right? All the knowledge that you want to gain from participant information. That is the key, right? So just be aware of your biases, and then work towards allowing the data to speak to you so that you'll be able to gain a lot of information from them from that. If you don't do that, what happens is that your perception and preconceived ideas will cause you to only focus on the things that you want to see, right? And that shouldn't be the case. You want to look and identify significant information that you think may help you to address your research question that you have. So, knowing your biases, backgrounds are all great. And another thing that you may have to think about is that you have some theories about the phenomenon that you are studying, right? It's very important for you to be aware of those theories and then suspend those theories, right? Because if you have that theory in the back of your mind, even when you're looking at a connection between themes, that theory may unduly impact how you establish the connection. And before you realize, the connection between the themes it doesn't reflect what you have in the data, but it reflects what theory that you have, and that shouldn't be the case. You have to make sure that you suspend the explanatory characteristics of the theory so that they will not have an impact when it reaches a stage where you want to establish the connection between the themes. Allow the data to inform the relationship between the themes that you came up with, right? Having knowledge, being knowledgeable about a paradigm, know the role that you are playing, whether you are a gatekeeper, critic, a skeptic, or explorer. And I think that knowing that will help you to be able to analyze your data in a very systematic manner, and you'll be able to get a credible findings when you are doing a qualitative study. So this is just a brief information about paradigm. If you want more information, my 2 books will be helpful for you. The first book is the step-by-step guide to qualitative coding, and the second one, which I wrote with my colleague Dr. Lawson, that will be also helpful. The second one is the theoretical framework in phenomenological research, development, and application. So if you can get access to these 2 books, that will be very helpful for you. You learn a lot, and thank you for your time. I hope this one was helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll be bringing you a lot of information. I'm trying to break down the complex issues in relation to doing research. Thank you for listening.